Welcome to the broadcast. My name's John Mayfield, the business tech guy or the real estate tech guy, either way. So trying a new setup here, and this is kind of a test. So I'm going to, as I'm trying to get everything done here, I forgot to put my phone on mute. So anyway, we're broadcasting live on YouTube, and everything's kind of going crazy here. So we'll hopefully be able to put my my iPad back up on the screen. Kind of have a new setup here, and I wanted to just go through a couple of things with you. I wanted, more importantly, to see how this works. I'm using a new 4K camera, and there are some settings there. So I'm hoping I have things set up where my voice is matching the sound of my speech, or my lips are in coordination. I've noticed on some of the YouTube videos I've watched, there has to be a certain delay setting. So we're doing some testing. We'll see how this works. I'll fine tune it a little bit. But I wanted to show you a little bit today, and this is just going to be a brief webinar. One of the other things I forgot, and I have right over there, is my wireless headset. And I have a wireless microphone. I meant to hook that up. And so I'm actually now broadcasting through the Q 4K camera. So we'll see how the audio sounds. It could be maybe not what I hoped for it to be. We'll give it a try and see how that works. So bear with me. Thank you for your patience. We're going to get right in and do something on the iPad just to see how you can take a look at what's going on. I've talked about this app before in the past, and it is an app that I really use almost daily, and it's called Notability. It's the app right up here that looks like a pencil. And actually, it looks like a pencil, and it has a recorder, like a microphone on one end. And you can do so many things with Notability. So I'm going to show you how that works. And I'm going to pull up Notability right now. What's really interesting about Notability is that it allows you to take a PDF, a portable document format, and then you can actually write on or highlight on the PDF document, which is really cool. And so again, a lot of times I'm just going to go out and I'm going to do a quick Google search here. And I'm just going to do a search for PDF documents. Let's just see if we can pull something up here. And so if I go down here, there probably will be a sample PDF document. Here's a, let's try this one right here. This is actually, here's the other cool thing about Notability, and I'm using my iPad right now, so I can actually in your iPad or on an Apple product, I'm going to show you this. This is one of the reasons I wanted to use this screen. There's a little up arrow right over here in the top that you can click on. Again, I'm hoping that shows up somewhat. It looks a little bit light there, but in an iPad environment, the iOS environment, you actually have a little up arrow in a square. You have a plus button, and then you have this little button here allows you to like open up more than one tab that you might have open. But if I do the up arrow there, I'm going to select the up arrow. Notice that one of my choices is Notability. So I can actually move this document to Notability. It's going to actually create a PDF for that specific document. So now let's watch this. What happens when I click the done button, I'm going to go back over here to Notability. Here is the document that we just grabbed online. And notice it took that whole web page even down below. See that? So it got all of the information. Now, what's powerful about Notability is the fact that with my pencil, my Apple Pencil, I can actually now go right up here and I can change the color of my pencil. So we have several choices of colors. I'll do blue. And if I press that again, notice I can even change how big the mark, do I want this to be in a felt tip marker scenario, or am I going to be handwriting a signature and I need something a little bit smaller? I also have a couple of other, if I want kind of a little bit more of a, whatever writing style I want. So there's some really interesting styles here with pens. Well, now that I have this chosen, notice I can write on this document. Now, if you make a mistake, you always have this undo button right here. So I can undo that, or I can, want to get rid of that. And I want to highlight this. So I'll pick the yellow highlighter. I can highlight, as you can lightly, hopefully, you can see, it looks like you can see okay. Now, again, I can always just undo that. It'll undo the last keystroke, or yes, there's an eraser. So I can use the eraser and literally just erase and get that off of the screen. Now, let's think about this in terms of how you can use this as a business professional, and me in the real estate business. This week, I had a couple of Zoom meetings. We're all doing Zoom meetings. And I had some documents that were sent to me, and we were making some decisions about certain things. And, sometimes when I'm in a meeting, I like to check off the agenda to make sure we're following through. Well, I was able to take the documents that were sent to me and make notes during the meeting right from my iPad that was sitting right in front of my computer. And so then when I finished the meeting, guess what? All of my notes are right here that I can pull up. Now I can then organize my notes into what are called binders over on the left. So for example, this is when I went to FIAPSI Taiwan a couple of years ago and I was speaking in Taiwan. These are my notes from FIAPSI Taiwan. So there are actually some notes I took in one of the sessions. Notice I typed, because I like to type. I'm getting better at using my pencil. And I think actually this was in 2013. So this was pre iPad Pro Day. So there was not even a pencil available back then, but you could still use a stylus or your finger with this specific app. So the other really neat thing about Notability is the fact that you can also, add type text if you want to. You can add notes, and look at this. I can even record. So I've actually right here, that's for a laser, I guess. So now I can use this as a laser, which I've not done a laser part. Oh, I have to turn the laser on. So I guess it's giving you a laser there of what you're drawing at, if you want to do that, okay? Which might be nice in presentations, because actually I can just write on the screen, or sometimes in a presentation, I want to make note of a certain thing, and then I'd like for that to go away. So that's a pretty cool feature. I didn't know that was there. That's right up there under laser, and you can hold the laser tail or hold it off, which is kind of neat. Right here, you'll notice there's the ability right up here that you can add a microphone. And I told you that the Notability app looks like a pencil, but on one end of the pencil, it actually has the image of a microphone. So I can actually click this on, and if you can see right up here in the top, it's actually recording what I'm saying. So if I wanted to record this while I'm in a class, I could do that as well. So I'm telling you, it is an amazing app. I use it every day. And I was thinking, I'm going to hit the plus button here. Yeah, and that was the other thing, because I knew that one of the things you can do with Notability is take pictures, which is kind of cool. So you would access that from the plus button in the top right corner. It's right over here. And so by clicking on the plus button, I can go into the photo library if I want to insert a picture. I could also go into camera if I want to take a picture, and I could do a document scan. There's web clippings, stickies or stickers. They call them stickies, but that you can add, and a lot more. Now, I use Notability. I use it. The primary way that I use it are twofold. Number one, I use it in a lot of meetings when I have to bring documents. So, in the old days, we'd print these documents out like this, right? And we'd take those into a meeting and we'd write on the documents. Today, what I do is, rather than print out the documents, I just save those on my computer as a PDF, a portable document format. And then I pull them up in Notability, and those documents now are ready for me when I go into a meeting. I use Notability in every meeting that I go into. As a real estate professional, I use it to have contracts signed when I'm out in the field. I also use Notability a lot from a real estate professional standpoint to store my documents. So let me walk you through how that works. And I'm going to go back out to here to the website, to my Safari web browser, I should say. Okay. And I'm going to go to Forms R Us right there. And this is the form platform that we use in Missouri as Missouri Realtors. So I'm going to just log in, and now I have the face recognition. That's why I'm bending down so I can see my face. And so now I'm just going to go right into Missouri Realtor Forms, and I'm going to put, I know about that, but I'm going to click hide the message. And I'm going to just go in and do a listing price change, okay? And let's say that you've gone out and you're in the field with your iPad, because I take my iPad with me everywhere. I mean, I like it because it's very portable, it's convenient, light, easy to use. I still take my computer with me a lot of places, but I'm telling you what, the iPad Pro does some amazing things. So I have my iPad Pro. I'm out at one of my clients' house. Maybe I just showed it. The people left. My seller shows up, and we're talking. And I say to my client, "Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we've had a lot of activity on your property. I think we talked about this when I listed the property, that I wanted to try it at $225,000. However, we may need to bring the price down to around 210. I just think we're too high on the price." And they're like, "Let's just drop the price. We want to get it sold, and go ahead and drop the price to 210. So I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll need to have you all sign a price adjustment form for our paperwork and for our records." And they say, "That's fine." So we go in to the kitchen table, and I'm going to go in to my search button, and I'm going to type in amendment. Okay. Hope the sound is good with this. Again, if you kind of joined us late, I'm doing a test here in my new setup, and yesterday, I haven't actually seen that, but yesterday I had my PowerPoint running here, and it looked really sharp and clear. I'm running my iPad through here, so I don't know how well this looks for you. And those are things I'm going to try to fine tune and work on. Lighting and some other things. And so right when I got ready to go live, I just realized I was not wired up with my wireless microphone. So this is supposed to be it's a 4K camera, and it's from a company called Zoom. Not the same folks that have the Zoom. I don't think it's the same company. This company makes a lot of recorders, audio recorders, and they do a lot of stuff for bands and things. And this camera is ideal for, because it has a pretty wide angle. The camera is fairly close to me now, but it's ideal for people who are like bands if they wanted to shoot a video. So I'm hoping the sound audio is okay. We'll find out. But again, I appreciate your patience and hope this is helpful. So I want the amendment for a listing. I'm going to open a new form. I'm showing you how I use this with Notability. And I'm not going to waste your time by going in and typing everything in. I'll just type one item on the top line, and I would type test. I would put the street address in, all of the other information. And now what I'm going to do is select File, Print as PDF. So I'm going to print this as a PDF. And notice here it is right here. It opens up in a new window on my iPad. Now remember earlier when I was on the website and I showed you that in iOS, so this is for Apple, iPad, and iOS, if I click this little square over in the top right corner that has an arrow pointing up, it will allow me, it's basically what that feature is saying is, you want to export this document. What do you want to do with it? Where do you want to export it? And I want to export it to Notability because I'm at my client's house, remember? And I'm going to hand them my digital pen and I'm going to have them sign it. So when I click on export, notice there's an option. I could email this in Gmail, but I want to print it in Notability. So here it is. Now I'm going to just click Add Note and Import. This document's now going to be moved over to Notability. So I'll click Done. And one of the things that I do in the iPad to jump over to Notability is by taking your finger and from the bottom sliding up, and notice what happens. It gives me some of my apps that are recently opened. Well, Notability is one of those apps. So I'm going to pull that up right now. And when I come back here to the home screen, to all notes, I may have to go back and do that. Whoops. Let's see here. And it's no big deal if that doesn't happen. Just slide your finger up, come back over, and open that back up in Notability. I think the problem, what I found is sometimes Notability cannot be opened into a specific document. It may have put that over in the Taiwan file. I just wonder if that could be the case. Yeah, that's where it brought it. So it was there all along. It just put it in the folder I had open. So that's a shortcut that we just learned today. And I think I already knew that, but forgot, is that if you want to bring this, if you want to set a binder up for your clients, you could just set up a binder in advance. So I would click, is this a subject or is this a divider? Subject holds notes. So I'm going to just put test right here. I'm going to create a subject. And now I'm going to type in test just so you can see this. So what you would do when you come into Notability, if you're getting ready to move some things over, go to your client's name. Remember, I just made one called test. It has no notes in it. So now I'm going to come back over here to this document, file, print as PDF. That's what we want to do. So when I do that, it brings up a new window for the listing agreement addendum amendment. I want to use the up arrow. And now I'm going to go from the up arrow to Notability. And that should put that right into the test folder. We'll see, okay? So now I'm going to slide my finger halfway up, come back over here, and it did not put it there. It put it back over here, but we're okay. It could have put it back in the Taiwan folder, who knows? So this is what you want to know. You've got all your information filled out for your client. You're at their house. You pick out the color of the pen you want. You pick out whichever one of these you want, and then you hand them the pen, and they sign their name, just like that. And then you can date it. Everything's complete now. And what you want to do here is you want to come over here, and by holding my finger on this for just a moment, I can share that right there in other apps. And then I click share note, and I can go here and I can email it to the client, or I could even text it to them. So those are the two primary ways that I'll just go ahead and, let's see, discard that. Those are the two primary ways that I use Notability. Number one, I'm using it anytime I have documents that come to me and I need to create documents so that I can take notes in a meeting. I just create those, put them in Notability, and then I have all of those PDFs right in front of me. I have the ability now that I can go in and I can take notes. If I want to type notes, I can type them here, and I can adjust that, and I can move the type text anywhere I want to on the screen. I can, as we talked about, I can use my pen. I can use the highlighter, which is very good. I have the ability to erase, to cut. We talked about the laser. I can record through audio. I can insert pictures. I can scan a document. And of course, you can organize all your documents right into a folder. Notability, if you're an iPad user, it's wonderful. And it's always one of the top, iPad apps in business, in the top 20. It's always been there. It's actually in all apps. It's been in the top 20, usually in the top 20 apps, you'll find Notability. And what's really cool is that it works right here with your phone as well. So anytime I'm out, I can pull up Notability on my phone. In fact, I was just thinking about that. I had to sign a document for someone. I was in the back seat of a cab in Washington, D.C. on my way to an event, and I pulled Notability up. I have my a little stylus over there with my planner, pulled that out of my briefcase, pulled the document up, signed it right on my phone through Notability, and shot that document back to them. They sent me an email that was a PDF, and I'm looking at my phone. I get the PDF on my phone, and they need my signature, and so I just did what? I used the up arrow on my Apple phone, sent it over to Notability, pulled up Notability, pulled out my stylus, picked a pen color out, signed the document, and then shared that right back to the other person who needed that. And within just a few minutes, less than that, I had that document signed and back to them. It's really an amazing app, and I think you will really like it. Now, next week, I'm going to show you my go-to app when I'm just attending a conference and I want to take notes, because I'm telling you what, this app this other app I use is amazing. But Notability does a great job, and I think you should check it out. Well, again, I'm just going to do a quick disclaimer. I did not turn on any lights. We're just looking at my iPad on my computer screen, and just curious what your thoughts are. Before we leave, I'll probably go on and just do a different test on that. But thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. I hope there were some folks out there watching today. I have no idea. I try to do these on Fridays at 11 a.m. Sometimes Fridays get crazy like the rest of you. So if you ever come out here at 11 and I'm not here, just understand something came up and I wasn't able to do a session with you. But I hope you like the setup. I'm going to be doing more PowerPoint. And I mentioned this to you because yesterday I did a sales meeting for an organization. I had my suit on and I had my wireless mic on and ran the PowerPoint. From what I could see, it looked great. They were supposed to share a link with me, and I've not received that. So I'm still kind of curious how that worked out. But today I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this with the iPad, see how it works. Might look a little blurry there, but we'll do some adjustments and make some changes and get this fine-tuned. But I mention all of that to say, if your state is thinking about doing a virtual conference, you need a speaker, pitch my name. I'd love to be one of the speakers and help your organization or group out to bring some value-added services and hopefully in a really cool virtual setup and showing. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.